Now, managing is a good word or managing is a bad word? According to me, managing is not such a good word. If there is a process and you are following the process, you don't require managers, you require clerks to follow the process. The history is like this, that earlier businesses and industries were being run by Sethjis and their kins. Seth will remain a Seth and employee will remain an employee. That was the given condition and everybody was okay with that. But after a while, people who are designated to be the next boss started feeling bad about it. That these people are so qualified, they are MTechs and PhDs and I am supposed to be bossing them and I don't have any qualification. So in order to make them feel better, justify that why they should be the boss, these courses have been started. Now these courses usually what they teach is nothing beyond common sense. They just throw in a lot of jargon and sophistry to make it look complicated. But otherwise it is all common sense, nothing beyond that. Common sense, stories, case studies, some discussions, it's all, I would say, more of an entertainment than actually serious education. Now we have failed to create an esteem value for technology per se, for doing original research, academic work also. Esteem value is something that has to be re-inculcated or inculcated again. I mean, it was never there. It has to be started afresh. Hello friends, I am Avinash Khare, your host, and I welcome you to this series, Technocrat Talks. In this series, we will be dwelling on our blind spots which have shackled our thinking and which have preconditioned our perceptions into a certain template. We have been suffering because of that. This we are doing through application of engineering sense and cold logic. Welcome to this analytical discussion. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Please press the bell icon to get the notifications. If you like the talk, please like it and share it with your friends, so that we increase the community of like-minded, curious minds to take the movement forward. Without much ado, let us start today's talk.
How do you think businesses and industries in India treat investment in technologies?
Well, investment in technology, when it comes to CapEx in particular, there is every effort in all productivity improvement drives, and if you see their presentations, the focus is to minimize, if not eliminate, CapEx altogether through some ragtags in-house grown solutions. So I would say that CapEx and investment in technology is being considered at par with mudas. Now you know muda is the Japanese term for losses. Okay, so it is treated as if it is one kind of a loss, a pilferage of the money or a leakage of money or something that needs to be plugged. People don't think of it as an investment, as a strategic initiative that is going to help them transform the organization in longer run. Usually corporates are actually focusing too much on short-term results and short-term benefits. And the long-term focus and strategic thinking is just gone out of the window. Another thing is happening that most of the big corporates, if you see, it is nice to think that capability development should be controlled by the strategy. That is, first you have to decide the business strategy, and in line with business strategy, you do capability development and technology acquisition and things like that. On the other hand, there are some organizations who do it the reverse way exactly. That is, they focus on building capability, whatever diverse capabilities, and then based on whatever capability they have acquired, they decide the strategy and decide on the business in which they want to go. Right? I mean, Reliance Group is a big example, how they have migrated from product to product in different ranges. So they acquired capability, they acquired technology capability, and then they launched themselves in a new business. So market leaders would rather do like that. See, the mediocre organizations are governed by the market forces. They follow the market forces. But the market leaders lead the market wherever they want to lead the market. literally. So the focus, according to me, should shift on building premium capability first, and then based on that you decide what next to be done. Maybe you can make a good use of MBA grads to develop market for the new capability that you have acquired. But it should not be the other way, that MBA grad is telling you what should be your technology strategy. No. So that misfires. And not only industries are not ready to invest in procuring technology, even if they somehow procure, and it is true for government organizations as well, they find it difficult to maintain because they don't have funds in revenue expenditure to maintain it. So they buy technology, but they are not able to sustain it subsequently. Another problem is that, okay, the capability development is treated as another muda. So capex is one muda, investment is one muda, capability development is another muda. While people do not mind investing through their nose for taking training in leadership development and change management and softer skills for senior executives, but suddenly they become very stingy when it comes to training, the technology training for the working level people. There they suddenly develop cold feet and they become miserly and they try to cut corners, and nowadays technology training they want to do online. I mean, what effectiveness online would have, right? They can't have hands-on, they can't see things. It is just they are saying some videos on the screen, and the faculty is only talking to the laptop screen as if he is teaching. So the effectiveness does take a back seat in these kind of approaches. Even though they may save some traveling costs, they may save some money there. But then I'm saying that there has to be some parity in the kind of investment organizations are ready to make for leadership development training, softer skill training. Similar yardstick they should apply for technology training as well.
In India, we treat jugaad as a virtue. And we've seen great stories supporting that. But what do you think are the long-term consequences to this approach, especially in the industrial landscape?
See, jugaad is something where somehow you make things work for you for a short term. Okay, bypassing some of the so-called frills, you cut some corners, you take some shortcuts, and very cheaply you do something for a short time. But that's not how things evolve. Like, I'm sure with the jugaad concept you can't make a building. You have to have a proper foundation, you have to have a proper plan, you have to do it in a rigorous way. I give you another example, like if you follow the proper process of painting a building. So if you follow the proper process, you should scrape the previously existing paint, you should have that lambi putty, planing, first coat, second coat, final coat, covering coat and all that. If you follow the complete process, you are doing a diligent, proper job which will last you for 5 years. But a jugaad would be that you have less budget, so what you do? Without doing anything, you just apply a coat of paint on top of whatever is there. Okay. For a short time the building may look good, but believe me, in 3 months' time it will look much uglier than what it used to look before painting. So jugaad technology is always like that, because you have done insufficient homework, insufficient study, insufficient preparation, insufficient process to make it a long-lasting thing that you have done. So jugaad will always have a limitation. It is done with a limited thought process. You have not considered the options. You have not followed the process that is supposed to be followed for any innovation. Okay, it is just something has occurred and that has been done just like that.
Do you feel we lack the capacity to incubate technology talent in India, and why?
See, we want new incumbent to start delivering from day one. Companies don't want to invest in technology training. That is problem number one. Problem number two is when we throw them to on-the-job, so-called on-the-job training and development, what happens that they land up in a silo with limited authority, with limited exposure. Okay, so they learn only whatever is there around them immediately. So that is what they learn, but they never get to see the full landscape of technology. of what else is available, what others are doing, how it can be done. So systematically never inputs are given to them. Okay, you just throw the person on machine shop or press shop, he starts operating and he learns what is being done. He learns their process all right. But he doesn't know what were the alternatives, what were the other options, what others are doing and what the benchmark organizations are doing. All that exposure is cut off to them. So that's another problem. There are other trainings which are conducted by some branded organizations who give you a certificate for a compliance to a particular standard or particular brand. Now those are exorbitantly costly first of all. And the focus there is more on having that particular brand, not so much the content which they teach. Okay, they will teach you certain standard that okay, as per so and so standard you should follow this process. But what were the alternative processes, what are the pros and cons of various approaches, that they will never cover. Basically in training, many trainings are conducted by people who are selling things. Now those who are selling things have always a vested interest to do their own brand promotion, to do their own promotion of their wares. So they will never objectively teach you what else is available, what are the other competing technologies, okay, what are the pro and con of various things. Now that kind of wisdom only comes if the trainer himself is from a neutral agency who has no stakes whether you buy that technology or buy something else. Okay, so that's another issue where the problems come. Okay, we have very few institutions, as a matter of fact, who do comprehensive technology training without any strings attached that okay, you want to sell this brand or that brand, this software, that software. Okay, now those things put blinkers certainly. Once you start having those interests, then the quality of communication suffers, and of course whatever, even the participants know that this fellow has come to sell this thing, so they will also choose to ignore things whatever is said, and they will understand whatever they decide to understand.
We hear a lot of complaints from our peers in the industry about a lot of micromanagement taking place at various levels of an organization. Do we lack the culture to handle the talent per se?
What is seen often is you recruit a bright boy, you put him under a boss who is an ST boss. So he will start from day one treating this person as a fool. He will always address him as if the person is a fool. He will never treat him as an intelligent person. And there is something called as Pygmalion effect. If many times day in day out you keep communicating to somebody that he is a fool, believe me, after a while he will start responding like a fool, and in longer term he will become a fool. Converse can also happen. If you have an average guy but you treat him as super intelligent guy while dealing with him, after a while he will start responding intelligently and he may eventually become intelligent also. So it all depends on how the immediate managers treat the new joinees, and that's the problem of a culture. Other problem is many times in larger organization we have simply too many people, too many levels of hierarchy, and each one has to show their performance. Now it is said theoretically that okay, you should delegate, you should make your people responsible, you should move on, you should develop your succession plan. But practically all these things are never done, quite the opposite is done. The bosses try to make it seem as if they are indispensable. And one method of doing so is micromanagement. You don't delegate anything, you keep all the keys in your pocket and you walk around. So whenever you want to threaten the organization, you just walk out, and everybody realizes that without this fellow we can't manage. So he becomes indispensable. Right? Now this is what happens. So in that interest, so that they should be able to bargain a good reward, a good promotion for themselves, they make their subordinates to suffer. They don't develop them by design. They give an impression that my subordinates are stupid, yet I am managing the show. So it should give me more credit because I am managing in spite of these people. So that is the approach which they put up, and this is positively harming the development and mindset of new joinees. And in industries also, in organizations, usually promotions come in three ways. One is called as queue system, what happened in government organization, that based on seniority one gets promoted. That was still, there was some logic and there was some fairness in that. Okay, if you go by seniority, there is some fairness, certainly. There is no subjectivity. I mean, okay, you are in queue, so when your number comes, you get the thing. It's very clear. It's very clear to everybody. The other approach is, okay, promotion by default. X has had a fight with the boss, so he is not to be promoted. Y is going for long leave, so he is not to be promoted. The remaining Z gets promoted, whether he deserves or otherwise. That's called promotion by default. And third is promotion by blackmail. Now, blackmail can be positive blackmail or negative blackmail. Now, negative blackmail is, okay, you know some weakness of your bosses. You keep quiet for that time. Don't correct them. Let them make mistake. When the nick time comes, that time you threaten that boss, bata dunga. So he says, chup bet, le le. Right? So that is a negative blackmail. But of course, it depends on how vulnerable your boss is and whether he makes mistake or not. And is he afraid of you spilling the beans? The positive blackmail is, you make the organization so much dependent on you, including the boss, that he can't imagine running the shop without you. And when the nick period comes, you threaten to quit. You say that, boss, I have got such and such proposal from competitor. What do you say? Should I? So he will say, okay, let me do something for you. Let me think. Don't decide in haste. And then he will do something for you. That is positive blackmail. Okay. So you have made yourself indispensable. Therefore, organization has to take you seriously. Okay. Now all these things go on, but then again, between boss and subordinate, if boss has to make himself indispensable, he can't let subordinate be empowered. Otherwise, subordinate one day will overthrow the boss and he will become more prominently visible in the organization. So all these things go in very tall organizations. In flat organizations, these problems are not so much there. But then most of our organizations, large organizations, are very tall in hierarchy.
How can HR managers and talent developers be better equipped to deal with technical training and competency requirements?
See, usually HR managers and so-called talent managers, while they have a lot of inputs through their training on the leadership and softer skill front, usually they have no exposure to technology unless they have been technocrats themselves. So what I would recommend is that organizations which are dealing with technocrats and technology should have a technocrat HR who understands technology and the difficulty level of things. And basically HR should not be judging everybody by same yardstick of some number of achievement, etc. There is always a difficulty level in all the targets. How does one assess the difficulty level, for example? Unless the fellow knows how difficult the job is. Say, suppose you have to maintain a very big, very complicated press, new technology press. What is the difficulty level versus if you have to just make some delta increase in the market in certain district? Okay. Now, if you have to compare two individuals, one from there, one from here, the one from management background will have a better position because HR and the people who are rating will understand that achievement better than the technocrats. Technocrat and designer, how was the difficulty in designing certain thing? Somebody who is not a designer, he will never understand. And because he will never understand, he will never be able to assess it properly. So that goes, and why I always say that technocrat's job is grossly underrated in industry while managerial job is grossly overrated. Because the rating is being done by managers themselves, so they are rating themselves, so they always tend to rate it high. There is another syndrome in industry that whatever is the domain of boss, suppose boss is from marketing, He thinks that everybody should do marketing. Just like when your PM was a farmer, he said everybody should do farming. Okay. So people think, the bosses think, super bosses, that whatever was their domain expertise, everybody should be doing that. If the guy is from finance, he thinks everybody should do finance, everybody should know finance. So likewise, yes, if you have a technocrat boss, probably there would be drive for technology. But that is usually not happening in India. The bosses are more from either HR or finance or marketing or some other corporate function. And they are ill-equipped to assess the technology even, forget dealing with it. So these handicaps are there.
Do you believe that companies in India are generally more focused on managing perception than actual performance?
No, I am always saying that we are excessively managing in India. Now, managing is a good word or managing is a bad word? Now, according to me, managing is not such a good word. I give you an example. Suppose your father gives you a pocket money of, let us say, 500 rupees per week. Some particular week he says, beta, 200 hi hai, manage in this. That is what manage means. Right? Means something is not what it should be. Something is deficient. Therefore, you are required to manage. Now, if you follow the process, you don't have to manage. If there is a process and you are following the process, you don't require managers, you require clerks to follow the process. So why do we require so many managers? Now in India it is the other way, because we have so many management grades, therefore we require so many managers to give them a job. But that's a lopsided approach. Why we should require so many managers? Things should work as per system. First of all, when there is no system, we say there is no system. When we put system, people don't want to follow system. They try to bypass system, they try to criticize system. Okay, they try to jump the queue and get things out of turn, bypassing the process. So there is every tendency to bypass the process. And then we say that no, the process doesn't work, we must manage. And manage what? Sometimes we manage performance, sometimes we manage perception, sometimes we manage perception of performance, sometimes performance of perception. Everything. But manage is manage. The real thing is to have the process, follow the process. That's what Germans do. You don't require so many managers there. Why should you require so many managers here? Has anybody done benchmarking? It's high time that we do benchmarking with technology leaders. How much of what is required? Not just because we have so many institutes, so many pass outs are there, so they have to be given a job. So we have so many, managers, so many finance people, so many HR people. It's not like that. Right? Empirically, you have to decide on your proportion somewhere. So managing, according to me, is not a good thing. Managing has to be done for a short time, only to deal with the crisis, unforeseen crisis, that too. So in the normal course, why we should be managing?
How can organizations ensure that they provide adequate training, job profiles, and motivation to retain and grow technology talent?
That will is lacking in the organizations. Otherwise, yes, they can do many things. Suppose they decide to do all the premium technologies in-house. They train the people, they buy the equipment, premium equipment, top of the line. And they start with doing things by themselves. Right? Instead of just importing something and start selling something and then indigenize something in bits and pieces, just for the namesake that it is made in India. See, डंडा भी हमारा होना है, झंडा भी हमारा होना है, डंडे का फाउंडेशन भी हमारा होना है. When the whole thing is done in-house, then it is real achievement, and then it is long-lasting, and then it changes the culture. Otherwise, it is a shortcut. It is a management. Otherwise, then okay, you just manage to put your flag on somebody's flag mast. and get the laurels that yes, I have done it. So we should not be looking for such short-term, short-sighted achievements. Should be a long-term thing. Better be a long-term thing.
Why do organizations that thrive on technological expertise end up hiring so many management professionals? Even if you hire a technical professional, we see them on a trajectory of being a manager too soon. Why in this country do we all aspire to be managers?
That is the mindset. Now, if you investigate the history of why management education started in the first place, the history is like this, that earlier businesses and industries were being run by Sethjis and their kins. Whether they were educated or otherwise, they were running the show. And they were running fairly okay, I would say, man. They were not doing badly anyway. And it was a foregone case that, okay, the Seth's son will become the next boss. So however professional somebody may be who is an employee, he will never aspire to touch that level. Seth will remain a Seth and employee will remain an employee. That was the given condition and everybody was okay with that. But after a while, the people who are designated to be the next boss started feeling bad about it. That these people are so qualified, they are MTechs and PhDs and I am supposed to be bossing them and I don't have any qualification. So in order to make them feel better, in order to justify that why they should be the boss, these courses have been started. Okay. Now these courses, usually what they teach is nothing beyond common sense. They just throw in a lot of jargon and sophistry to make it look complicated. But otherwise it is all common sense, nothing beyond that. Common sense, stories, case studies, some discussions, it's all common sense. It's all, I would say, more of an entertainment than actually serious education. Okay. So that is how it started. And after that they give you brand value, they give you a big stamp of some institution. So you automatically get qualified to step into the top chair without anybody doubting or questioning anything. And one thing which these courses definitely did do, that they improve the personality profile and communication skills. And of course leadership style and all those things. So yes, polish they definitely gave to the people. And so that yes, people started feeling that yes, they deserve to be in that chair. They themselves felt and everybody felt also. So that was the mindset why these things have started. Now because of law of gravitation, everybody is looking at the top. So everybody thinks that that is the way to reach the top. So with technology, where do you languish? You languish at some senior engineer, chief designer at that level, right? So if you want to grow beyond that, and surely everybody would aspire to grow beyond that. So then one has to, sometime or the other, take a digression from technology and go for these kind of skill sets which give you more esteem value, right? Now we have failed to create an esteem value for technology per se, for doing original research, for doing some great academic work also. Esteem value is something that has to be re-inculcated or inculcated again. I mean, it was never there. It has to be started afresh.
Do you see technology incubation playing an important role in the future of the Indian industry?
Depends on in which direction Indian industry is slated to go. Like if they are going to continue to do screwdriver technology and only assemble and sell things, probably you don't require. But yes, if you do really want to do the work from basics, building blocks, materials, devices, then there is a very big demand for technocrats. But it is a long process and somewhere the leadership has to give some kind of a protection, because it will always be tempting to import things cheaply and not do this. So that is where some policy push is required persistently for a prolonged period until this happens and we catch up at the foundation level of technology. Okay. But certainly, like, we can't be building the top floor without building the foundation. Now the problem is many times we just try to build the top floor and forget about rest of the building.
Well, with this, we have come to the end of today's talk. Please take this movement forward. Please share it with your friends. Open Mind is an engineer's workshop, and our goal is to engineer our future. Please press the bell icon to get further notifications. Please like if you have liked the talk, and please do let us have your feedback, your ideas, your comments, your suggestions. Hope to see you in the next talk, Technocrat Talks. Till then, be happy, enjoy. See you next time. Bye-bye.